Podcast napędza biuro tłumaczeń Duna. Przetłumacze. Podcast o tłumaczach, tłumaczeniach i językach. Witam serdecznie, nazywam się Błażej Grygiel, zapraszam Was na podcast Przetłumacze. Dzisiaj nasz gość z Meksyku będzie rozmawiał z nami o języku hiszpańskim właśnie w tamtym kraju, a odbijemy się od przekleństw, bo już raz rozmawialiśmy o przeklinaniu po hiszpańsku w Argentynie. Czas na Meksyk, ale nie o samych przekleństwach oczywiście będziemy rozmawiać. Rozmawialiśmy w języku angielskim, zatem, żeby niczego nie przekłamać, prezentujemy rozmowę w oryginale, czyli po angielsku. Zapraszam do słuchania.
My name is Juan Diego Balam, and I'm from Mexico.
Okay, you currently live in Poland. What brought you here?
Well, I'm here because I have my girlfriend, and she is Polish.
I think that's a very good choice, of reason to stay.
That's a very good reason, yeah.
Great. So we wish you, of course, all the best. But I want to ask you about something that is connected to the language reality. By the way, you in your home with your girlfriend, you talk in Spanish, in English. What's your language?
We normally communicate in Spanish. She speaks Spanish very well. And I'm learning Polish, still learning.
Yeah, it's hard work, isn't it?
It's hard work, yeah.
I can sympathize with it, even though I was born here. Polish language is still difficult for me, even though I'm here all the time. Okay, so I want to ask you at first, because I've got several questions. I want to ask you about the swearing in Spanish. I know this is a very specific question, but
yes.
Spanish language is a little bit famous for it because it's very rich in many forms of relieving your emotions. I would say it rather like this.
That's right. Like, I wouldn't say only is rich, like you can enrich it even more. Like we create our own swearing and, so I think that's the reason why it might be famous around the world. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. It's very rich.
But it's not a kind of a bad fame. It's rather something you can respect. Like, wow, they've got so many ways to relieve their stress. So tell me, how does it work? Because you told me that there are some words that there are specified to be swears, but you can also create them. How do you swear in Spanish?
Well, so of course you need to feel it. So in Spanish, and I think maybe in most of the languages, when you hear a person swearing and the person really doesn't mean that, you can tell, right? So in Spanish, you really need to feel it because we have many different swearing, like, puta madre, carajo, cabrón, etc. But also you can say your own. So I don't know, sometimes you just create your own words, like when you hit yourself with something, like your toe or something. Well, I always say carajo, or I can create my own words. Nothing is coming to my mind right now.
Okay.
But sometimes, like, oh, carajo, I don't know.
What does it mean exactly, this word carajo?
Carajo, oh, that's my favorite one, I would say. Carajo means like fuck, or something like that.
So you told me that it is very important to feel the things. So I'm afraid that foreign people can get mistaken. They hear the word and they think, oh my God, he's swearing. And in fact, you're not. You're using the word just for, I don't know, for the laughs or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Like I've heard some people who use, these words only to look cool or because they are hearing to them, at an environment, and then they want to be part of it.
Yes.
And I don't really like that because if you don't feel it, you can sometimes offend someone or you can just look ridiculous yourself, So that's why you really need to feel it. And when you feel it and you say it, people, at least we can know that, we can see that.
Mm-hmm. It can be very difficult for a foreign person to swear in a language they're not familiar with, because they can mistake the use of the word or the contexts, and they want to swear and they use the incorrect word. Have you met such things like this?
Yeah, of course, all the time. So I've been immersed in an environment in Mexico, for example, where I know a lot of foreign people, and yeah, they use the words incorrectly sometimes, and sometimes very, very incorrectly. But at the same time, for us, it's different, because if you are a foreigner and you use the certain words with us, or and we clearly see that you're learning the language, we don't care if you use them incorrectly, or you say something that is no good for the context or for the environment. And we actually laugh about it, because it's funny for us.
Okay, so we don't have to be afraid that when we misuse such a word, we can offend somebody, or we can anger somebody even. No.
Yeah, exactly. No. Well, unless we are seeing clearly that you speak Spanish very well and you know what you're saying,
okay,
then we can feel offended. But if we see clearly when you are learning the language, and then there's no problem.
Tell me, does the language in Mexico or Mexico? I've never known how to spell it properly.
Mexico, yeah.
Mexico. Okay. So how does the Spanish language in Mexico differ from the language in Spain, if it differs in any way, or maybe not?
Yeah, of course, it's super different. I would say in Latin America it's way too different to in Spain. And especially about the swearing words, we have some common words that we also say. But for example, I think in Spain they use them in a different way. In Mexico, for example, the most common words to use like that is puta madre, chinga tu madre. I think this one, they don't have it in Spain. Chinga tu madre. Chingo. What else?
Those first two refer to mothers, yes? Those first two insults.
Yeah, exactly. That's very weird, because when we swear, and we normally refer to the mother, especially because for us, our mother is so special that when we really want to offend someone, we use the mother. It's very bad, but that's the reason, because mother for Mexicans is super special.
Okay, so if you want to hit somebody, you hit the mother with the words.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, right. And apart from swearing, just speaking about the everyday common language, there are also differences between Mexico and Spain?
Oh, many differences. One that is very special is that they use vosotros. Okay, and this is like you all in English, you all, vosotros. And in Mexico and most countries in Latin America, we use ustedes. And the conjugation also is different for vosotros and for ustedes.
This is a trap, and one can fall into it.
Yeah, especially what happens here is that we understand the vosotros conjugation in Mexico and in Latin America. I'm not really sure if they understand the conjugation in Spain, because we understand most of the things that they use in Spain, but they not always understand the things that we say in Latin America.
You've experienced such things? You've ever been to Spain and had such an experience of misunderstandings?
I've never been to Spain, but I talk to... So I have my account on Instagram where I teach Spanish, and I've been friends with some Spanish teachers from Spain, and we have discussed a lot of the things that we have in Mexico and they don't have in Spain, for example. And one thing is, if you want to say over there or there in Spanish, in Mexico we normally say allá, there, and also acá, here. But in Spain, they don't have that. So they use allí for there and aquí for here. So we could understand all of them, but they never use allá and acá. Never. So maybe they can be a little bit confused.
That's interesting. Tell me, when it comes to teaching language, do you more often teach the Spanish or the Latin American model of the language?
Okay. Well, I teach the Spanish from Mexico. I try to take it to a point where it's neutral, but I cannot do that all the time because so the reason why I teach the Spanish from Mexico is because, of course, I'm Mexican and I know the language very well, but also because I think you cannot speak the Spanish neutral because also you're not going to sound natural.
Okay.
And that's why you need to choose. You need to pick one. And, yeah, I teach Spanish from Mexico.
So I know that Spanish language is huge around the world. It's much bigger than English, for example. In fact, do you know, because I don't, which type of Spanish is more common, the Mexican, Latin American, or rather the continental European Spanish?
That's a good question. Okay, two things. I found out that the language, the Spanish that most people learn in school and language school and etc., is the Spanish from Spain. Although it's not the most spoken Spanish around the world.
Oh,
so because it's in Mexico where you have the largest population of Spanish speakers. And so that happens especially here in Europe, where people, of course, want to go to Spain because it's beautiful and they love the language, etc. But for example, in America, well, as you know, we are neighbors with the United States, and they have this large population of Latin American people. And normally my clients are from the United States, and they want to learn the Spanish from Mexico, especially because
it's closer, of course.
It's close, and they have many Mexicans there. And I think the Spanish from Mexico is clearly understood for most Spanish native speakers.
I think we got it. So I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Dziękuję Wam za wysłuchanie kolejnego odcinka podcastu Przetłumacze i zapraszam na następne, już w całości w języku polskim. Do usłyszenia!